Think of the last time somebody asked you what you do. How did you respond? Did you describe yourself or did you just state your job title? What comes to your mind when you think of a successful person? A CEO, a billionaire, or someone with a job title so fancy you're not even sure what he actually does? We live in a society where professional achievement is about everything. We measure success in paychecks and promotions. But how did we get here? How did we become just accountants, consultants, and managers instead of people with real dreams, interests, and lives beyond office walls? I remember I was in 4th grade when my teacher first asked me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I confidently said, "A scientist." Well, as all of you can see, I did not become a scientist. But the question is still interesting. She did not ask me what I want to do for a living. She asked me what I want to be. From a young age, we train our kids to think of their future identities as their jobs. But this was not always the case. Our ancestors, they did not work for their identities. For them, work was about survival. They worked to feed their families, build homes and communities. But somewhere along the way, we lost the plot. Now we live to work. We tie our self-worth in our jobs. And we believe that success lies at the very top. You know, a few centuries ago, compared to a few centuries ago, we now have a lot of technologies. We have computers, AI, machines. Work should be getting easier, right? In a logical world, we would be spending less hours working. We would be having shorter work weeks and more time for ourselves. But we don't live in a logical world. You know, technology didn't liberate us. Technology just allowed work to follow us everywhere we go. If we could reply to an email at midnight, why wait till morning? If you can generate a report within seconds, why not make 5 instead of 1? So we are working more than ever with more stress and less satisfaction. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we should all quit our jobs and go and live in the mountains. Work is necessary, and we should all do our jobs with honesty and dedication. The problem is not work itself. The problem is when we forget that work is meant to serve us, not the other way around. Now, some of you might say, work gives me purpose. Well, if you really love your job, congratulations. I'm happy for you. But according to surveys, only 15% of people actually like their jobs. For the rest, 85%, work is monotonous, draining, and hardly bearable. We got to ask ourselves, is this really the best way to find meaning? I once asked my colleague why he is always the happiest on Thursdays and Fridays. And he told me, Fridays because weekend is just around the corner, and Thursdays because Friday is just one day away. Think about it. We are spending our entire lives waiting for the weekends, which ultimately is pointless because the weekend is over before we even realize it. This is an agonizing existence, isn't it? And to fill the void created by stressful work, we chase luxuries. We buy the latest expensive gadgets. We take expensive vacations. But here's the catch. The more we chase these expensive luxuries, the harder we must work to afford them. We become trapped in an endless cycle of chasing to afford the life that we barely have time to live. And the cost is life itself, the precious hours, days, and months and years we could have spent pursuing our passions and building relationships, it's gone. And let me ask you one question. Let's say one day we retire. What do we call ourselves then? Retired engineers? Retired managers? Is that all there's left? We are more than our jobs. We are humans with dreams, ambitions, interests. We are adventurers, creators. So just let's start living like one. So the next time you think of a successful person, think of a happy family and a peaceful home in a quiet countryside. The next time somebody asks you, what do you do? Don't just give you a job title. Say something different. Talk about your hobbies, your interests, what makes you feel alive, what you really, really care about. Or just say, I'm just doing my best. Thank you.